In one of the most shocking chart stories of the year, Cardi B's long-awaited second album, Am I the Drama, dropped after a 7-year drought and instantly went platinum in less than 24 hours, sparking both celebration and outrage across the industry. Fans rushed to stream the 23-track project, stacked with features from Summer Walker, Selena Gomez, Kehlani, Lizzo, and even Janet Jackson. But the real buzz wasn't about the new material, it was about the math. How does an album released yesterday already carry a platinum plaque today? The answer, critics argue, lies in a loophole. Cardi strategically included her two biggest past smashes, WAP and Up. These songs were already certified juggernauts. WAP went 9 times platinum and Up 5 times platinum, with both topping the Billboard Hot 100. By packaging them into the new album, their pre-existing sales automatically pushed Am I the Drama over the million-unit mark before the fresh tracks even had a chance to breathe. While some hailed the move as savvy business and proof of Cardi's dominance, others blasted it as a desperate stunt designed to inflate her numbers and mask uncertainty over her new material. Critics filled timelines with comments calling the tactic a cheat code and fake platinum, questioning whether Cardi was truly breaking records or just gaming the system.
Now, Cardi, why would you go and tell us name 5 Bill songs? Listen, technically she wasn't lying, okay? Because I don't know not damn Bill song. The only Bill song I know is by Lil Jon and the Eastside Crew. Now that I listened to Cardi's album in its entirety, y'all, I'm not playing. Cardi went in that studio and snapped for real. Like, every feature that she had on there did they thing. Like Lizzo, she had her Jennifer Hudson going on, but she sounded real good.
Cardi, however, defended her choice months ago, saying fans constantly searched for those songs and demanded they be included, insisting they deserved a home on the project. She even pointed out that they wouldn't count towards her first week's sales, so in her eyes, the outrage is misplaced. But that hasn't silenced the debate, and what happened next only made things messier. While the instant platinum headline dominated social media, the reaction to Cardi B's new project has been anything but unanimous. On one side, die-hard fans praised her for finally delivering after 7 years, flooding Twitter and TikTok with clips calling her a genius for locking in features from powerhouse vocalists like Lizzo, Summer Walker, and Selena Gomez. They applauded the mix of club anthems, raw emotional tracks, and nostalgic echoes of her debut Invasion of Privacy. But on the other side, critics accused Cardi of rushing a bloated, uneven body of work that leans too heavily on old drama and recycled hits. Many argued the album sounds dated, with singles like Outside and Imaginary Players underperforming on the charts. Outside peaked at number 10 when fans expected another number smash. Others called the rollout overhyped, saying the 7-year wait wasn't justified by what they heard. Even loyal supporters admitted the project felt like shock value, exciting on the first listen but not necessarily replayable. Reviewers questioned whether Cardi's reliance on controversy and celebrity beefs is overshadowing her artistry. Yet industry observers note that controversy itself is part of her brand. Love her or hate her, people can't stop talking about her. And in today's streaming economy, attention equals streams. Still, the real dividing line came when listeners discovered the not-so-subtle diss tracks tucked into the album, reopening old wounds that some thought had been buried for good.
Me personally, when I listen to Cardi B album, it kind of give me like shock value listening. Like, you know, like when you hear something for the first time, you're like, oh, why would they say that? But it's like that one time, it's that one time you're gonna feel that way. Like, as far as like, if I go back and listen to Magnet a couple times over and over, it's like when I first heard it, it's like, okay, damn, you really said that shit. But it's like after a while, you're like, that's it. Like, and then like when it came down to Bia, it's like, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be dead too. But it's like you really brought that beef back out of the woodworks when really, honestly, nobody was thinking about her. You made us think about her again. That's what I'm like. It's kind of like this moment was like a little bit of spite. Now, granted, you know, the songs about Offset, those can run free. But I'm like, it's come down to the other parts, just like, it's just like a lot of energy was just put towards like old beef and stuff like that. Like, if this was a normal person, we would pretty much be like, you're still on that. Like, you're still going back and forth with these bitches all this time. I'm just personally trying to figure out how is this going to transfer into an arena performance. Like, as far as having songs that you could like dance to and like have a choreography to, I'm trying to like really grasp like what songs are actually gonna have like a stage presence, if you know what I mean. All I have to say is though, just don't take 7 years again.
But that wasn't the whole story, because one feud in particular set the internet ablaze. The most talked about moment on Am I the Drama isn't a chart-topping single. It's the brutal diss aimed at Bea on the track Pretty and Petty. Cardi didn't hold back, tearing into her longtime rival with sharp bars that fans quickly declared a lyrical cookout. Their feud has roots stretching back years, when Bea accused Cardi of copying her style and swagger. Things escalated when Bea implied Cardi was cheating on Offset, and then took it a step further by dragging Cardi's children into the mess. For a long time, Cardi stayed quiet, brushing it off as clout chasing, but she admitted on The Breakfast Club that once her kids were mentioned, silence was no longer an option.
Because because you mentioned my kids trying to be cute. There's gonna be times that like people throw shots at you, or like there's gonna be times like, you know, like when she did her little diss and it was trash. Like it's like it could have been trash. People dragged you, and I could leave it at that. But it's like everything on social media is gonna be seen. So when my kids grow up one day and they see that you mentioned them, and then they're gonna ask me like, so what you said, what you did. I'm not gonna tell my kids like, you know, I just felt like she took the high road because she lost because people wasn't on her side. No, I'm not saying that to my kids. I'm like, you see how I violated.
When my kids grow up and see that, they're gonna ask me, so what you said, what you did, Cardi explained. I'm not gonna tell them I just took the high road. That statement alone reignited the debate online, with fans split between praising her for defending her family and criticizing her for resurrecting a feud many had already forgotten. Some say she handed Bisha free publicity by putting her name back into headlines. Others argue this was the closure Cardi needed, showing she won't let anyone cross certain lines. And while Pretty and Petty is getting streams on pure drama alone, it's also raising bigger questions about how much of Cardi's musical identity now depends on conflict and clapbacks. But the Bisha shots weren't the only surprises buried in the album. Cardi seemed to have messages for other industry peers too, and that only added more fuel to the fire. Beyond the direct attack on Bisha, fans were quick to notice other subliminal lines scattered across Am I the Drama. Cardi appeared to throw shade at JT and Ice Spice, with cryptic lyrics that listeners dissected line by line on Twitter, turning the album into a scavenger hunt for hidden disses. While Cardi never confirmed names, the pointed tone was enough to spark endless speculation and fan wars between stan bases. But the real emotional weight of the project came through in tracks clearly referencing her messy breakup with Offset. She layered vulnerability into verses about betrayal, loneliness, and frustration, balancing fiery disses with raw reflections on her marriage. Songs touching on divorce showed a side of Cardi that wasn't just brash or confrontational. It was weary, angry, and heartbroken. This mix of emotional pain and combative energy made the album title Am I the Drama feel perfectly chosen. The rollout of these songs suggested Cardi wanted to control the narrative, proving she could address her personal life in her own words, rather than letting blogs and tabloids do it for her. Still, critics argued that leaning so heavily on beefs and breakups created an uneven album experience, making listeners question whether the drama outweighed the artistry.
As somebody who has listened to majority of the Cardi B album, let me just say this. It's Cardi Beatrice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be expecting this hard, grungy rap. Like, it's not about to be the best bars of the year. We know that. We know that. We know that. With that said, Salute, amazing song. The song with Kehlani, amazing song. Bodega Baddie, amazing song. Pretty Petty, whatever called, the shot against Bia, amazing. Love it for what it's worth. I feel like Cardi B had those fun, turned up songs a little bit, you know, shaking down, you know, typical Cardi B. She had a breakup song, If you going through it, you're gonna love it. I personally, I don't really want to hear sad Cardi going on a journey. That's just not me, you know, because that's not what I know her for. And then she had, you know, some stuff that you could tell is like more radio play-ish, like mall kind of friendly music. You know, she's dibbling in multiple genres. Was it cohesive? Hell fucking no. Was it telling a story on like a journey? Hell fucking no. But I'm not listening to Cardi B for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an artist I will go to for that kind of music. So when y'all throwing her in this like harsh, rap category, she gotta be the hardest rapper, yeah. I don't think she's ever claimed to be. Or you know what? Maybe she has. But I will say, this album is nothing more than the shit we've gotten from Cardi B before. Like, no shit. Like, it was what I expected. I didn't expect too much.
And as chatter about subliminals grew louder, the spotlight shifted again, this time to the numbers game, where her platinum certification raised just as many eyebrows as her lyrics. No part of Am I the Drama stirred debate louder than its almost instant platinum certification. Within 24 hours of release, the project had already crossed a milestone that usually takes months or even years, and the reason quickly became clear. Cardi included her monster hits WAP and Up on the track list. With WAP already 9x platinum and Up 5x platinum, the units from those singles carried over, essentially handing the album an instant plaque. Fans rushed to defend her, saying she was smart to give her biggest hits a permanent home on her sophomore record, and Cardi herself argued that her supporters had been begging her to include them. She also pointed out that because old singles don't count toward first-week sales, the outrage was misplaced, but critics weren't buying it. They accused her of gaming the system, claiming the move inflated numbers and created the illusion of a blockbuster album before anyone could judge the new material on its own. Some called it desperate, while others said it was just the reality of today's streaming era, where strategy often outweighs tradition. The controversy set off a bigger conversation about whether certifications really measure success anymore or if they've become more about optics and clever accounting. Cardi may have her plaque, but the shadow of this debate now hangs over her rollout, forcing people to question whether her win was earned or engineered. While the platinum plaque made headlines, the real test came when listeners sat down with the 23-track album. And here's where the divide grew sharp.
Selena Gomez, the way Selena and Cardi complimented each other on the album, 10 out of 10. The only negative thing I can say about the album is when it came to the Janet Jackson feature, it was a sample, okay? So technically wasn't a feature, but other than that, I really enjoyed this album. And it's like no skips. Like, do you know how hard of an album it has to be to have 23 songs and you can just listen to it and not skip any one? Like Cardi did this, okay? And Cardi, if you see this video and when you come to my city for the tour, we should link up, okay? Let's make that happen. I'm gonna keep saying that until it happens. Like me and Cardi, we gonna link up.
Some fans praised Cardi for bringing back the fiery energy of Invasion of Privacy, saying the album felt like a bold reminder of why she became a household name in the first place. Others weren't as generous. Critics noted that several tracks sounded dated, as if they were leftovers from earlier sessions, and argued that the long gap since her debut created sky-high expectations that the album struggled to meet. Singles like Outside and Imaginary Players performed decently, with Outside even cracking the top 10 on Billboard, but many expected her to dominate the charts the way she once did. That left skeptics asking the tough question, does Cardi still have the same pull she had back in 2018, or has the industry moved on? Supporters countered by pointing to her ability to blend rap with R&B hooks, her willingness to experiment, and her undeniable charisma. Yet even those fans admitted that after 7 years of waiting, the album's uneven moments were hard to ignore. The debate wasn't just about music, it was about whether Cardi B remains a cultural force, or if her reign at the top has started to waver. If there's one thing that guaranteed Am I the Drama would dominate headlines, it was Cardi's decision to reignite her beef with Bea. On the track Pretty and Petty, Cardi unloaded with brutal precision, reminding everyone why she thrives in battle mode. The feud dates back to when Bea accused Cardi of biting her style and even went as far as throwing out accusations of cheating on Offset. Cardi mostly brushed it off until Bea crossed the line by mentioning her kids in a diss track, something Cardi made clear she would never let slide. In her Breakfast Club interview, Cardi explained, "When my kids grow up one day and they see that you mention them, I'm not going to tell them I just took the high road. I want them to know I stood my ground." That statement turned the track into more than just a clapback. It was about legacy and reputation. Beyond Bea, Cardi also seemed to drop subtle shade at JT and Ice Spice, adding more fuel to ongoing speculation about rap's shifting alliances. Critics argue she gave Bea too much relevance by resurrecting the feud, but fans called it one of the album's highlights, praising her sharp delivery and unfiltered aggression. Either way, the move cemented the album's title. Cardi wasn't just asking if she was the drama, she was owning it. While the diss records grabbed the spotlight, some of the album's most striking moments came from Cardi's raw honesty about her split from Offset. Sprinkled throughout Am I the Drama are tracks where she drops the bravado and lets listeners in on her heartbreak, anger, and resilience. These songs reveal a woman processing betrayal and disappointment, but refusing to let pain silence her. Unlike the flashy club records, these cuts felt personal, almost like diary entries set to beats. Cardi didn't just rap about leaving a relationship, she rapped about the loneliness that follows, the struggle of holding it together for her children, and the determination to find strength in her own voice. For fans, it was a reminder that beneath her larger-than-life persona, Cardi is still navigating the same emotional turbulence many face. These tracks added weight to the album's theme. She isn't just the drama in the rap world, she's living through it in her personal life too.
Cardi B has dropped her long-awaited album, Am I the Drama? It's been around 8 years since she dropped Invasion of Privacy, and I just listened to Am I the Drama? And I'm gonna give you my honest review and how I feel about the album. When I first heard Invasion of Privacy, I remember I was playing that joint in my car and I was just vibing from the first track to the last. It had like a bunch of rappers in there. We also had the inclusion of the Migos. Obviously, we don't have that on this album. This album doesn't have a lot of rap features. When I looked at the features for this album, I seen a lot of it's heavily driven on female songwriters, female singers. It has Kehlani, it has Lizzo. And it has Summer Walker, who actually shows up multiple times on this album. For the most part, Cardi soloed this album herself, which was surprising to see, but it was amazing because I think she did an amazing job on this album. Even with the features and the female songwriters that's featured on this album is hard. Cardi went off on this album. This is Cardi's testament to her pain and everything that she's been through throughout the years. You definitely have a lot of, conversations, that she's having towards her baby father, Offset. So you're definitely gonna hear her saying things about that. But for the most part, this is a rap album. The singles that she put out, Outside and Imaginary Players, was just a slicing on the cake compared to what is on this album. Bodega Baddies is gonna go crazy on TikTok. My only issue with that song is that it's too short. I wish it was longer. I really wish it was. My favorite song just so happens to be a song she has on there with Lizzo because it has a sample that I love. And when you hear the song, you'll know why. She also has a song on there called Pretty and Petty where she's responding to Bia's diss track. And if I was Bia, honestly, I would go somewhere and just hide and hope that it don't rain tomorrow because she cooked the hell out of Bia. I give this album, honestly, a 10 out of 10. You know, this album did something for me that only certain albums can do. And it left me with a bunch of different emotions from everything that Cardi was discussing, you know, and the delivery and how she put it out. It was just crazy. It's like amazing to listen to and it was amazing to hear. I didn't know what I expected from this album, but it gave me everything that I wanted from this album. And I think this album is going to be...
For critics, this vulnerability helped balance out the aggressive diss tracks, giving the project dimension. Some even argued these breakup songs could outlast the beef-driven anthems because of their relatability. Still, the lingering question is whether Cardi can maintain that balance as she pushes her brand forward. The projections for Am I the Drama have already set the industry buzzing, with estimates suggesting it may sell under 200,000 units in its first week despite the platinum certification boost. Without the legacy hits like WAP and Up padding its stats, the album's fresh material faces the real test. Will it hold its own on charts dominated by younger, hungrier artists? Some analysts believe Cardi's star power and social media dominance will carry her through, while others argue the 7-year wait has put her in a dangerous position where expectations outweigh delivery. TikTok trends like Bodega Baddies could breathe life into the project, but in an era where one viral moment can overshadow an entire album, it's unpredictable. Supporters say Cardi has already proven herself by securing features with the likes of Selena Gomez and Janet Jackson, showing her reach beyond rap. But skeptics call the album's structure scattered, questioning its staying power on big stages like arenas or award shows. The commercial weight here isn't just about numbers, it's about whether Cardi can cement herself as a long-term force after such a long gap. The industry will be watching first-week sales closely, but the real measure will be whether these songs live on beyond the hype cycle. The release of Am I the Drama has already sparked fiery debates across social media, cementing its place as one of 2025's most polarizing albums. For fans, the cultural impact is clear. Cardi B still knows how to command attention, whether through her music, her personality, or the controversies she stirs up. Supporters see the album as a bold comeback that proves she can still dominate the charts and conversation, pointing out that few artists could drop after 7 years and immediately go platinum. But critics argue the cultural footprint feels manufactured, relying on recycled hits and reigniting beefs instead of showcasing artistic growth. On TikTok, snippets from tracks like Pretty and Petty are already going viral, turning Cardi's diss lines into trending audios, while emotional songs about her split from Offset are fueling fan theories about her private life. The split reactions also expose a deeper truth. Cardi isn't just releasing music, she's selling a persona that thrives on drama as much as talent. Some call her the queen of shock value. Others say she's exposing the cracks in her own legacy. Whether loved or hated, the fact that the conversation refuses to die down proves the cultural weight of this project. With Am I the Drama, Cardi B forces the industry to ask whether her name belongs among the greats, or if her career is running on manufactured hype. On one hand, she's now one of the few artists in history to drop a platinum-certified album on release day, a record that ties her to icons like Lady Gaga. On the other hand, critics argue that Milestone feels hollow when built on old hits like WAP and Up. The bigger debate is about longevity. Does this project prove Cardi still has staying power, or does it show her brand is more about spectacle than substance? Her defenders highlight her versatility. Songs with Selena Gomez, Summer Walker, and Lizzo prove she can blend rap with R&B and pop seamlessly, keeping her relevant across genres. But skeptics insist that after a 7-year gap, fans deserved innovation instead of recycled controversy and dated sounds. Legacy in hip-hop isn't just about hits, it's about evolution. And some argue Cardi hasn't pushed her artistry forward enough to hold the crown long-term. Still, even her critics admit she has mastered cultural dominance. Love her or hate her, Cardi has redefined what it means to be a female rapper in an era where personality, spectacle, and social media presence weigh as much as lyrical prowess. The real question now is whether she can deliver another reinvention, or if Am I the Drama will be remembered as her peak moment before the tide shifts. At the end of the day, Am I the Drama is both a triumph and a controversy. A platinum-selling project that proves Cardi B can still command headlines, but also exposes how fragile her dominance really is. On one side, she delivered a massive rollout, packed her tracklist with star-studded features, and gave fans the high-energy drama they've come to expect. On the other side, critics argue she leaned too heavily on past success, reignited old beefs that felt unnecessary, and struggled to deliver the innovation expected after a 7-year wait. Yet the one undeniable fact is that Cardi knows how to keep herself at the center of cultural conversation. Every diss line, every collab, every social media post has fueled the hype, whether good or bad. Going forward, the pressure will be immense. Fans won't wait another decade for her third album, and the industry won't reward recycled formulas forever. Cardi now faces a crossroads. Will she double down on spectacle, or evolve into a more consistent genre-pushing artist? One thing's for sure, she thrives in chaos. And as long as she keeps feeding both her fans and her critics, Cardi B will remain one of the most unpredictable and entertaining forces in music. The drama may have defined this era, but her next chapter will determine whether she cements her legacy or fades into nostalgia.